Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to another exciting round of the FEG PC Truck Series here at the virtual Phoenix Raceway. As always, on behalf of FEGPC.net as well as Team Boom Squad Broadcasting, my name is James East, bringing the action 1080p 60 frames a second as we get ready to decide who will be the champion here at segment 3. Another hot night under the sun. You got 4 contenders out here today: Cody Mccauley, Jeremy Cruz, Tristan Bailey, and Matthew. Drivers that all have a chance to bring it home here today to win segment 3. And then next week, once again, to decide who the overall champion is for the FEG PC Truck Series. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight, friends from across the world. We've got folks tuning in to the broadcast already. Country Chick, Jeremy Barber, all joining us here today. Good to see the usual suspects and friendly faces from across the world, because without you guys, this broadcast would not be happening, as our drivers are absolutely appreciative of seeing their friends tune in each and every week. Let us know who you're cheering for, as we do have the poll up in our YouTube channel as well. You can take a quick guess on who you think may bring home the Ultimate Championship here today. Brandon Barber, the number 14 Ford F-150, heading out on track for his qualifying run. Going from memory here, I believe that it is usually about a 20 to 30 second lap time. Somewhere about there is what we can expect our drivers to put down here today. So it will be very intriguing to see how things go tonight and who's going to bring home the top spot as well as that championship. Now again, these guys are running 65% fuel allotment. They've got 2 changes of tires behind pit row, and tonight they have no fast repair for this 100-lap main event. Barber will be one of the first drivers to put down a time here today, so it'll be interesting to see what he has. We got MJC cheering on Roger Hale. So a little bit closer to the 30-second mark. 27.46 is what Barber clicks off John 11 with a 27.24, good enough for pole. Jeremy Coors did make it out on track number 97 Ford. A late entry, I believe he just got moved to playoff contention, as it was originally going to be Michael J. Johnson in the mix here today. He unfortunately was not able to make it. Now, Coors has been fast all season long. Really, all the guys inside the top 4 have been fast all season long. That's why they're in the top 4. Right now, though, it's Parks on top of pole with a 27.13. He's about 800s faster than John Ouellette's number 81 machine. Gail Martinez cheering on Roger Hale as well. Todd Millette getting some love from the fans, number 27 Ford. Coors will have to settle for about a 3rd place qualifying here today. Let's check in on Roger Hale, number 8, running the privateer paint scheme, it appears. No sponsors on that Toyota Tundra. Parks still sitting on top of pole. 12 drivers have put down times. That looks like about 24 drivers making it out for the segment 3 finale. A lot of drivers haven't put down times yet. Radke, Lee, Forbes, McCullough, McCauley, Mullahan, Holmes, Burgess. All not putting down times yet here today. And favorite Jay Darger moves up to 10th and qualified. His fastest time is a 27.4, just a little shy of 3/10 over of what Parks put down in qualifying. Hale, his opening lap was a 27.43. Let's see what he can do on his second time lap. This may be one of those tracks where you see drivers put down a fast time on their opening lap, and then the second will be their throwaway, just getting a little bit more seat time for the 100-lap main event. As always, thank you to our friends over at FEGPC.net for sponsoring the series and putting on these events. If you're looking for a custom-built sim rig desktop, they are the guys to check out. FEGPC.net. They've got it all. Custom-built desktops, sim needs such as wheels, pedals. They've got some cool sequential shifters and handbrakes on there. check out our friends at FEGPC.net. Supports the broadcast, supports the series, and gives these racers a place to go every Monday night. Now again, we're here tonight for the finale of segment 3. Next week we have the overall season finale to see who will be the absolute top dog here for the Truck Series. And then there are rumors about a Super Speedway Intermission Series coming out during the wintertime. And if you want to get in on that, check them out as well, FEGPC.net. Matt Lee coming out late, but does a fantastic job. Drops a 27.01, a 27 flat is what it shows on the left side of your screen. A full 0.12 of a second faster than Parks. That'll be good enough for pole. Now, last time we ran in Phoenix with these drivers, it ended up being a fuel mileage race right down to the wire. Now, with about mid-20s, 24, I think 25 drivers making their way out tonight, it's going to be interesting to see if we have those early spring of cautions or if we're going to have a good, clean run. But let's get ready to take it to tonight's grid and see where your favorite driver will be starting at. Starting on pole, Matt Lee, the 04 machine. Eric Parks starting second. Brad Herman third on the grid. John Ouellette starting fourth. Jeremy Corr starting 5th. Stephen Page is the number 1, starting 6th. Chad Ross in the 38, starting 7th. Brandon Barber, the number 14, starting 8th. Jeffrey Radke starting 9th. Cale Seaman starting 10th. Tyler Millette starting 11th. The fan favorite Jay Darger starting 12th on tonight's grid. Then you've got Roger Hale starting 13th. James Kaufman in the number 25 machine starting 14th. Jose Medina starting 15th. Joe Winnesdorfer starting 16th. Cody Mccauley starting 17th on the grid. Tristan starting 18th. Kenneth McCullough Jr. starting 19th. John Mullahan starting 20th. You've got Jared Forbes starting 21st. Josh Holmes starting 22nd. Joe Burgess starting 23rd. And that will round out our grid here today at Phoenix under the hot sun for the FEG PC Truck Series Segment 3 Series Finale. What are we going to see here today? 23 drivers are making their way out for the main event, but only 4 are in contention to bring home the grand prize. As let's take a look and see what the payouts are going to be for this one. From my understanding, the winner of segment 3 will take home $333. Second place will win $83. Third will get $83. And they'll be awarding another $83 to a random driver here. And that is based off the 33 entries we've had for segment 3. And I just noticed the winner of the overall championship gets a direct drive wheel or an 80/20 cockpit with monitor mount or the option to cash out. So that's a lot of prizes being thrown around here at the FEG PC Truck Series. And a lot of fun calling these races up in the booth. It's been a fantastic season. Looks like Josh Holmes, Joe Burgess will not make it out onto the grid. Chris Burton's here cheering on Tyler Millette, number 27 machine. As we will roll them out behind the iRacing safety car. Beautiful Ford Mustang leading our drivers around. So it looks like it's going to be 21 drivers making their way out on track. Not sure if Holmes in the 18 Chevrolet or Joe Burgess in the number 19 Ford F-150 will be making it out on the circuit, but a very quick pace lap as the pace car comes in already. Here we go. It's Lee and Parks on the front row. Lee was over a 10th faster here in qualifying. But let's see who's going to bring home that top spot and the grand prize here is segment 3. A lot of money on the line for these drivers. And away we go. Lee gets an early launch, and that's going to allow Herman up in the mix as well to battle side by side with Parks. Looks like Burgess is going to come back out on track, maybe a lap down, starting from here. Already we've got a good battle for second. Lee, your leader in the 04 machine's got to be happy here. The longer he can keep other trucks behind him battling, the better the chance of him bringing home the championship of segment 3. Now we saw a 27 flat from Lee in qualifying. Let's see if he can do it again out front, hitting his marks. His opening lap of 29.55. Leah Meister keeping on Roger Hale as well. Roger getting a whole lot of love here today from the fans. He's currently running 16th out on track in that number 8 Toyota Tundra. But there are a lot of fast guys here at the FEG PC Truck Series, so able to get that top 10, top 12 will be an accomplishment. Hale in the all-black Toyota is chasing Tristan Bailey, and James Kaufman are about to have some side-by-side action in front of him, but he's got to be careful as here comes Jose Medina in the number 21 Toyota, trying to make some moves early on. And if you're a newcomer here to the broadcast, first of all, thank you. And second, I guess something all the drivers need to be aware of, so not the drivers, the fans, that these are all guys from all walks of life, all across the country, if not the world. And they are out here each and every week absolutely battling their heart out and doing the best of their abilities. So for some of these guys, a goal will be a top 10, a top 15, or even just finish on the lead lap, as the talent is so good here at the FEG PC Truck Series. You're watching Cody Mccauley and Jay Darger go side by side, bounce off each other so slightly as the glint of sunshine here in Phoenix hits those spoilers on the truck. Mccauley trying to catch up to Radke, but getting a whole lot of pressure from Darger early on. This will be the battle for 12th on screen. Go a little bit further up the field, we've got John Olette. He's being chased by Jeremy Kors, another chase contender here, while simultaneously chasing down Eric Parks. Parks down one spot from where he started, currently running third on the track. Let's see, right now it's fairly even across our viewers voting on who's going to win the Segment 3 championship. But it's Matt Lee, 40% of the votes so far, your current points leader. He's up, current race leader. He's about a half second ahead of Brad Herman, the number 85 machine. Now Herman is not in the championship contention. You've got to go back to, I believe, 5th place Jeremy Kors, another competitor that has a chance of bringing home the big money. Take it back to John Olette. Speaking of Jeremy Kors, he's got Kors less than 4 tenths off the back bumper of that number 81 machine, as he's still just within striking distance of Parks, the number 3, holding off by about 3 tenths of a second coming down the backstretch here at Phoenix. As Lee and Herman running 1 and 2 are kind of stretching out. They're about over a second ahead of Parks in third. Cody Mccauley, he's got a battle going on with Tyler Millett, number 27. He's right on the rear bumper of that 27. Mccauley looks to the inside. Millett running to higher here today. It does not look that look like there's a dog leg is in play for these drivers. Dog leg referring to the apron out of turns 1 and 2, or what would be old 1 and 2, allowed the drivers to dip all the way down the track. So looks like everybody's staying up high here today. As Mccauley makes his way around the number 27 Todd Millett. Mccauley is up 8 spots so far here today, working his way into 9th. You got to keep an eye on these drivers. If this becomes a fuel mileage and tire management race, you could see some dark horses running 5th place back suddenly catch up here in Phoenix. Again, it was a fuel mileage race the last time we were in Phoenix. Roger Hale battling side by side with Kenneth McCullough Jr. Hale on the outside line in the all-black number 8. McCullough on the inside line in the 03 machine. I think McCullough's run 6 different paints so far this season, and each and every one always looking fresh out on track. As we were watching the battle for 16th, meanwhile, Tyler Millett loses the spot to Jeffrey Radke. You're going back and forth. No, it's going to be A big old battle going on here. Brandon Barber, Tristan Bailey, Tyler Millette, all in a mix here. And they are right behind Jeffrey Radke. He's about to feel the pressure as well. A 4-truck battle for 9th starting to shape up. Across the track. We're going to go way up front where it looks like Matt Lee has company from Brad Herman, as well as I believe it's going to be lap traffic just ahead of Lee. I believe that may be Joe Burgess, number 19, ahead of your race leader. Lee's got a little bit of company front and back. It takes too long to navigate traffic. Herman in that number 85 Chevrolet could capitalize, but if he pushes too early, Lee can find himself in trouble and ruin a race with a driver that's trying their best to stay on the lead lap here. And we're rolling in for Matt Lee as he navigates traffic with Herman right in tow. Right now, it's 50% of our viewers saying Lee is in a great spot to win the championship. Our other chase contender that's closest to striking distance is Jeremy Kors. He's in 5th place, and he is about 2.5 seconds back from your race leader. Now, from my understanding, Lee and Kors are teammates out here. This truck series we run every Monday night. Great battles all across the track. It's Stephen Page and Tristan Bailey battling for 8. Bailey is up 9 spots, but our current hard charger has got to be Cody Mccauley in number 62 Toyota. He's up 10 spots, working his way into 7th, but now he's going to be tied with Bailey. Both drivers up 10 spots. As now Bailey will find himself 1.5 seconds behind Mccauley. Bailey rides around in 8th place, tries to clear traffic and maybe get away because he knows Jeffrey Radke, Stephen Page are no slouches here. All these guys have run together several times a week, if not more. You kind of get a feel of who you can push and who you can trust. Great racing all across the track, and I think now it's going to be Eric Barnes feeling some heat from John Millette as both drivers get through traffic. Less than 0.2 of a second separating these two for the battle for 3rd. Now Parks is already down 1 spot from where he started. John Millette started 4th here today and may be feeling a little bit more risky with his tire management strategy 20 laps in. Now I'm curious to see, are we going to see a one-stop race? Will we keep it green all the way through? This is one of my favorite things to call good green lap racing, and that could very quickly become the norm here over the duration of this series. All of these guys are extremely talented. I don't think there's a single slouch in this 24-truck grid here today. We're going to pull up the live timing and scoring card on the left side of your screen so you can take a look, maybe see where your favorite driver is. As Mullahan and Darter battling for the 14th place spot. All across track, we'll go a little bit further to Tyler Millette. He's got pressure from Seaman number 17 machine. It's Ford versus Toyota in the battle for 12. And that's the great thing about racing here every Monday night. You've got great racing. It doesn't matter where you're out on the field or the track. It could be a battle for lead or it could be a battle for a career best for some of these drivers. And everybody very clean and very respectful, not wanting to risk anything. And I don't don't think anybody at this point wants to be the driver that maybe brings out a bit of a premature caution. Now, we've made 24 laps in so far. Quarter of the race has been knocked out. So I would say that is pretty darn impressive of our drivers. A little bit further up front, it is Jeremy Kors and Cody Mccauley battling for the 5th place spot. Mccauley's up 11 spots so far this evening, as he knows he's got to get up front and make some big charges in a hurry, as he is one of the final 4 drivers here for the season finale. Mccauley picks up another spot now, just ahead of Jeremy Kors, another Final 4 contestant. But it is a long way to go up to the front, where Matt Lee is currently leading the charge, 4.5 seconds ahead of Mccauley and Kors. Thank you as well to our fans from across the world that like the video. Leave a comment for your drivers and maybe share it to some family members. Without this, or without you guys, this show wouldn't be going on week in and week out, and we are truly appreciative. And let me again remind you, all of our drivers, well, let's say most, if not all of our drivers, go back after the race, and they definitely notice who's been in the chat cheering them on. Some of these drivers will actually have it pulled up on a separate monitor, or maybe a cell phone, and they'll be listening in and watching the chat during their pit stops. Obviously, when they're flying back, it's all proof of texting and driving here on a Monday night, but the drivers truly appreciate all of our fans from across the world. Chad Ross making his way up the field now. He's going to pressure Kors in that 6th place spot. This is where you're going to see tire management start to play a factor for these drivers. We're 28 laps in, and the times will start falling off. Matt Lee, a great example, your current race leader. Fastest lap of the race was a 27.19. His last time by, a 28.66. The tire wear will start slowing down the pace for all of our drivers under the hot sun. And Lee, he's got company that has not left. That's Brad Herman, number 85 machine, still following in tow behind your race leader. But we know Lee is an absolute animal when it comes to tire management. Doesn't matter the truck, doesn't matter the track, doesn't matter the vehicle. He knows how to keep the rubber underneath him for the duration of the run. Another great battle on track was John Mullihan and Jay Darger battling for that 15th place spot. They're about 2/10 off of Kevin McCullough Jr., who's also up 5 spots, running 14th here today. So it looks like Mullihan's going to link up with McCullough and maybe try and track down Millette and the number 27 machine, as all of our drivers are really feeling the effects of tire wear at this point in the stage. And it's where it becomes a lot tougher for any of these drivers to make passes as well. But speaking of passes, here comes McCauley to move up into 4th place. He's up 13 spots here today. But how much tire is he going to have left here for the end, as he's still 3.7 seconds off of Matt Lee, who's leading this race. And again, Lee is our current fastest driver out on track, trying to win the Segment 3 championship. It'll be interesting to see if McCauley will have any tires left towards the end of this run, and maybe see what the strategy is going to be for these drivers. You may see a lot of the guys go for a one-stop race, and you may also have the opportunity to see drivers maybe switch up the strategy, maybe go for a 2-stop race. Lee extending that gap back over Herman to about 4/10 ahead at the very front of the pack. Chad Ross, who's running 8th on track behind Jeremy Kors. He's getting pressure from Jeffrey Radke. No, Radke had a bubble. No, now Ross is going to move up towards Kors. Try and make a move on that number 97 Ford F-150. We got Quinzel cheering on Roger Hale as well. Hale currently running 17th on track, down 4 spots from where he started, but still very early on into the night, as we have kept it clean and green so far here today. No big incidents yet. Mullahan and Millette battling for 14th. The Meister family giving their love to Roger Hale as well. And Hale will be one of the first drivers to come down pit road on lap 34. That may be that two-stop strategy we were talking about just a little while ago. So while he will go down, maybe a lap here in Phoenix with a longer pit stop, he'll be coming out on track with a fresh set of tires. And you may be able to see Roger Hale come blitzing through the field. Mullahan still on the back bumper of Millette as the sun hits the spoilers. Mullahan looking at the inside line, that number 12 machine. Millette in the black and green, number 27 on the high line, crossing the start-finish line. Both drivers clicking off almost identical lap times. Millette with a 28.94 compared to Mullahan's 28.79 will allow Mullahan to pick another spot, now up 6 spots. Hale makes his way out of pit road. James Kaufman in the number 25 Chevrolet also coming down pit road. But this is where we're talking about those different strategies that come into play for these guys. We've seen races won or lost on pit road, and we could very well see a championship decided. So we're going to keep an eye on James Kaufman and Roger Hale to see what they're going to be able to do after their early pit stops, undercutting the field. Hale will come back out on track in 22nd position with those fresh Goodyears and a full tank of gas after his lap 34 pit stop. It'll be very interesting to see how that affects his time. Now, he was in his box for about 18 seconds, and the time it took from him to cross the first set of entry cones to the exit cones was right at a minute flat. Now, with the lap times being about 30 seconds here, that's going to put you about 3 laps down on a pit stop. As now Eric Parks, he's going to feel the pressure from Bailey, number 24 machine. Bailey, another one of those hard charger, up 13 spots. Both McCauley in 4th and Bailey in 5th are up 13 positions here today. Now, I believe Kaufman coming back down pit road for a second time. I'm wondering if the number 25 machine has some sort of pit road penalty. As Chad Ross, number 38 machine, also coming down pit road on lap 40. But this is where things are going to get very intriguing out front. How long is Matt going to hang it out for that 04 machine? He's got Herman about 7/10 behind him, and John Olen about a second behind as the field's starting to bunch up here. And keep an eye on Cody Mccauley in 4th place on number 62 machine. Now within 2 seconds of your race leaders. Another championship contender that may work his way up to the front. Kaufman leaves pit road once more, it looks like. So he will return back out on track after a very odd strategy. I've got to think maybe some sort of penalty here. I didn't see him tag the wall at all tonight, so I'm not sure if there was damage to be heard of. As Hale definitely has some damage to that right side of the number 8 machine. He's coming back out on track with those fresh tires and trying to work his way back out onto the lead lap ahead of Matt Lee. But that's going to be tough as Lee with those tires remains very quick and consistent here at Phoenix. As we can report from pit road, Chad, the Haas Ross, he took 4 fresh Goodyears, 2 cans of Sunoco, and he's going to get back out on track and try and charge the field. Jeffrey Radke, number 23 Toyota Tundra, also makes his way down pit road. So that's about 3 drivers that have opted to pit here today. Hale, Ross, Kaufman, and now Radke and Darter both coming down pit road. Going to be very interesting to see how the strategy plays out. It looks like Lee on that one-stop strategy. As now Eric Parts of a 3 machine will make his way down pit road, not quite at the halfway mark. So will Lee be able to stretch it out to lap 50 before he takes his one stop of the night? I'm assuming he's going for a one-stop strategy here. As look at this, here comes Mccauley, still on track. No, Mccauley's going to go down pit road for a little bit of an undercut on lap 45 in that number 62 machine. And here we go. We've got John Ouellette sends it slideways, and that's going to bring out the first caution of the night here at Phoenix. How is this going to shake things up as far as the pit strategy? Several drivers will be caught at least one lap down. Let's take a look and see what happened to Ouellette. Ouellette in the number 81 machine. Oh, looks like he got in the back, number 85, Brad Herman, and then did whatever he could to avoid locking up. Luckily, he stayed out of the wall. But that's going to really shake things up, as I assume most of the field's going to come down pit road. Yes, they are. Now let's try and get you an onboard of that one and see just how close things got between Ouellette and the number 85 of Brad Herman. So you're on board with John Ouellette, the number 81 machine. It looks like Herman and Ouellette had different braking markers here. And just very narrowly, yeah, just came in very, very deep. Gives a good hard hit to the back of Herman and locks it up in style. Thankfully kept it off the wall, so no harm, no foul. Maybe a little bit of a love tap on the outside wall, but we've seen worse. As everyone except for Ouellette and McCullough have come in. Ouellette will come in a lap later. So when is McCullough going to come in the 03 machine? He's going to follow Ouellette in. And this will be a bit of a reset for the drivers right at the halfway mark. As we are under caution, we're going to run a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more heated action here at the FEG PC Truck Series. Back, and Lucky Dogs get the wave around, getting back on the lead lap. It'll be Cody Mccauley and Matt Lee on the front row. Mccauley is up 16 positions here. This could be the future battle for the championship. And as always, thank you to our friends FEG PC for sponsoring this event as we get ready to go green once more in Phoenix. It's two championship contenders on the front row. But cautions can breed cautions. As now you've got drivers coming out with different tire sets. Some guys on fresh rubber, some guys on old rubber, and 17 drivers on the lead lap here. Mccauley smashes that loud pedal, leaving Lee briefly to dust about 3/10 behind. Lee gets in front of Brad Herman to catch back up to Mccauley. This will be the battle for the lead as well as the second 4 drivers listed here today. The highest finishing driver will bring home the championship, and we're going to have another caution as that's Tyler Millette tagging the inside wall. No caution yet. As we've got more problems going on, I believe, ahead of Millette. Oh, it turned into a parking lot mighty quickly. We called it just now. Cautions breed cautions. As let's try and get a nice wide angle and see what happened to our drivers. As it shows Mullahan, Seaman, Barber, Burgess, Winnesdorf on ball. There's Tyler Millette. He's involved in that incident, as now we're watching Mullahan, number 12 machine, maybe gets a little bit of a love tap shot up to McCullough. As the rest of the field tries to lock it up to avoid getting into him, and ooh, Mullahan gets punted over here by, I believe that was Winnesdorfer and the number 51 machine. You'll get that on these bigger jobs. Let's go on board with Winnesdorfer and see the carnage unfold in front of you while you're on board that Sunbelt sponsored Ford F-150. Tries to slow down and just whoop, pops over Mullahan. He's on his roof. And that will be our second caution of the night. Cautions breeding cautions. That was about, I want to say about 15th place back that collected all those drivers. As again, it was Mullahan, Seaman, Barber, Burgess, Winnesdorfer, and Ross, who all showed involved in a incident. And Tyler Millette also had a hard hit to the inside wall, number 27. And that's something of note for our fans at home. These guys get used to running 40, 50 laps on a very tight setup truck, as the tire wear really affects them. Then you come back out, and suddenly the trucks are a lot looser, more likely to light up those rear tires and send you careening around. As you got a lot of drivers coming out pit road. McCullough, Forbes, Ross, Radke, Barber, Winnesdorfer, Burgess, Mullahan, all on pit road. Kaufman will get some positions the easy way, now number 25. We went from no cautions to several cautions mighty quick. As fans are asking about Roger Hale, the number 8 Toyota Tundra, he is now up a spot in 12th, getting within striking distance of the top 10 here. As I believe several drivers will be taking a longer pit stop trying to get those repairs done. Again, we have no fast repairs, no get out of jail free card here tonight. So if you wad up those machines, you have to fix it the old fashioned way. Duct tape, hammers, and maybe a little bit of Flex Seal from your crew on the sidelines. Front row. After a bit of a tease for our drivers. Now historically they're trying to use the long green flag runs. We know McCauley has the short run speed. We know Lee has the long run speed. As the tail end of the field quickly livens up the pace to try and catch up to the field before they cross the start finish line. McCauley with a great launch. Lee once again right in tow, but he's going to have pressure from Brad Herman on the inside line. Now Herman not a championship contender, so it's going to be interesting to see what the play is. There's going to be improvements here today in Phoenix to maybe let the leaders go so they can battle for the 7th championship, because the battle is what we have on our hand. You got Cody Mccauley out front, up 16 positions. Matt Lee, the 04 machine, down 1 from where he started today. 45 laps remaining to decide who will get the grand prize. As McCauley really going right off the rim here, trying to set the pace. We're going to see if he follows follows in suit. Or no, we're going to have another caution. It appears it'll be Ross and Hale maybe involved in this one. Watching Chad Ross in the 38. Hale, all black truck inside the line. I think Hale might have been the aggressor on that one. It looks like he came up the track. Tough one to call. Take a look at that from another angle. You got Hale on the inside line, Ross on the outside line. Yeah, I think Hale maybe thought he was clear there and gets into Ross. So tough luck for both the 38 of Chad Ross and the 8 of Roger Hale, who will both be taking a return back to pit road and maybe a call from the officials to come see him in the holler afterwards. Just like that, from 0 to 3 cautions. So it looks like it's still going to be 14 drivers on the lead lap. Hale did get right back out there. Ross taking a little bit longer stop in pit road. He's been in his box for about 35 seconds and counting so far. Winnesdorfer also coming down pit road, number 51. But this is going to be very intriguing. I wonder how the heat cycles is affecting our leaders, Cody Mccauley and Matt Lee, how it's affecting their tires, and how it may help them out in the long run as we're clicking off laps still under eye-pacing conditions. Lee taking the short way around the track here at Phoenix, trying to save as much fuel as he possibly can. As I would assume at this point in the race, we had Mccauley coming to lap 45, Lee coming to lap 46. That's when the caution started here today. I am going under the assumption they can probably stretch it out on fuel at this point. If not, maybe one more caution, and that'll be all they need to make it till the end. I am very intrigued by what's going to happen here. As again, previously in the season, this was kind of a fuel mileage event for these drivers. And I want to say last time we were here, it wasn't until about lap 70 or 80 before we had the string of cautions. They're coming out right about the halfway mark here today, shortly past. That's starting about the halfway mark, around that lap 46, 47 mark is when the chaos started for our drivers. Here we go for yet another restart. Mccauley and Lee on the front row. Bailey and Herman your second row. Coors and Ouellette your third row. We know caution's precautions. I didn't expect it to happen this much. As Mccauley gets a great launch. Lee times it a little bit better this time, dropping in front of Bailey number 24 machine. So it seems that Lee maybe got the start strategy of Mccauley to out ever so slightly. Now, I'm not expecting the front bumpers to really come into play here. This guy was too respectful. But maybe that will change with hundreds of dollars on the line for the second free championship. It's Mccauley, Lee, Bailey, Herman, and Coors running your top 5 here today. as Lee is going to keep Mccauley right in tow, staying 2/10 off of the a little bit further back in the field, Brad Herman and Jeremy Kors go side by side. Kors on the inside line, Herman on the outside line. They're being chased by John Ouellette, number 81 machine. And these guys are battling extremely hard for that fourth place spot. Tristan Bailey is up 15 spots, currently running third. Your race leader, Cody Mccauley, up 16 spots here today. Ouellette still looking for that top 10 finish. He runs 12th out on the circuit. And here comes Kors trying to answer to Herman once more. Now the more these guys are battling up the spot, they can do Mccauley and Bailey to pull a gap to the rest of the pack. As the race leader currently single file. Now Herman does have some damage on the backside of that number 85 Chevrolet. Interesting to see how that affects him in the long run here. 36 laps remaining, 35 laps for our competitors. And you see him smushed back in of the number 85. Like Herman's starting to get a little bit of a break from Kors, stretching out back in single file. Ouellette catching up with the back bumper, number 21, Jose Medina, while Jay Darker, the 7 machine, rides around about 3/4 of a second back from the number 27. Ouellette tuning in, cheering on number 27, Todd Ouellette, currently 12th on track in that Ford. Putting a lot of pressure on that number 21 of Jose Medina, the Tecate-backed Toyota Tundra. It's fantastic racing across Phoenix here today. Another heated battle for fifth developing. Jeremy Kors chasing the fourth place driver of Brad Herman as John Ouellette, number 81 machine, takes a couple of feet from Kors as well. Oh, and here we go once more, a spectacular save from Herman. Wow, what a save, what a save. Look at this, Herman takes another hard shove from behind, from Kors I believe it was, and just drifts it around here at Phoenix, holds on to it, and a spectacular save, but poor Herman getting that back bumper abused here today. Great driving and great saves from all of our competitors, so now Herman will find himself 8th on track behind Cale Seaman and number 17 Toyota Tundra. Up front, Matt Lee is about 1 second back from Cody Mccauley. I wonder if they're planning on fuel management here at the end, as Mccauley doesn't seem to be slowing down any. Last time by, it looks like Mccauley was about a 10th, almost 2/10 faster than Lee. Lee maybe in fuel-saving mode here in the closing 28 laps of this segment, 3 seasons finale. Again, next week, we're coming back to decide who is the overall champion, and we'll be giving away a direct drive wheel. For those of you that tuned in and have no idea what I'm talking about, let me just tell you, it's really, really nice that these sim racers can use for their rigs. Again, at the end of the day, we're a bunch of grown men playing race cars, but it's a lot of man hours and a lot of practice that goes into this simulator. The same sim that NASCAR used to design, or redesign, I should say, Atlanta Motor Speedway before they implemented the new paving on it. And during COVID, you can see a lot of the guys, the real-life NASCAR racers, when COVID shut everything down, they would come out on iRacing and still put on put on a show for fans across the world. So iRacing is serious business for those that want to come out and battle it out in a fantastic sim. And if you want to get on the action, you can sign up as well at FEGPC.net, especially for our intermission series coming up. What the play here is. Now we're about the same time as Mccauley. I don't think he wants Bailey to get around him in that number 24 machine. But Lee is over a second behind your race leader in the closing quarter of the race. I wonder when he's going to be comfortable with the fuel he's saving. He's talking to his crew chief, listening to his spotter, trying to strategize a plan here. Meanwhile, still great racing across the track. Herman is about 3/10 back from Eric Parks and closing fast and stretching that gap on Cale Seaman and Jeffrey Recchia. I wonder if Herman's going to try and get back up to the fourth place spot and maybe return the favorite Jeremy Ford, who's 97. He's currently fourth on track. He's about 1.4 seconds ahead of Herman after Herman's been shunted around here in Phoenix. Now looks like Radke and Seaman go side by side as well, battling hard for that 8th place spot. Oh, look how tight it is coming out in the backstretch. That is Seaman and Radke running side by side. You've already seen a little bit of paint traded here today. Drivers very careful at this point not to cause any incidents. 22 laps left to go. Right on the bumper of Radke, less than a 10th separates these two drivers. Seems to go with the inside line, see if he can squeeze up next to the 23. We've seen a couple of crashes here happen already tonight, so it looks like Seaman's going to back way off, and that's going to allow Stephen Page to try and capitalize on the outside line, carrying a bit of speed in his number 1 machine. Trying to make something happen now. He looks to have secured 9th place. As Cale Seaman, number 17 machine, drops back down to 10th. Now the good news is for Cale, he's about 3.8 seconds ahead of Jose Medina and Tyler Melendez that are running 11th and 12th out on the track. With how many drivers we've had go home early, I'd say overall it's a pretty solid night, as I believe John Mullihan and Ken McCullough Jr. have both retired from the event. We had Josh Holmes, which they had a DNS, but Cale Seaman, number 17 machine, is going to come down pit road with 19 laps left to go on lap 81. It's going to be interesting to see how that strategy pans out. With 15 drivers on the lead lap. Still running second out on track behind Cody Mccauley, your race leader. Mccauley, who is up 16 positions all the way up into first. He's got a 7-10 gap over Matt Lee, and he's doing his best to bring home the second championship in that number 62 Toyota Tundra. as right now it's Toyota running first and second, Chevrolet in third with Tristan Bailey, and our current fastest forward on track is Jeremy Coors in the number 97 machine. Now Lee is within a half second of your race leader, so Lee finding some pace. He was almost 2/10 faster than Mccauley that last time by. What's going to happen here? Does Mccauley have something left in the tank once Lee catches up? Right now, 46% of our voters are saying Matthew Lee is going to bring home the championship. We've got 16 laps to decide who is right, as the gap that was about 1.2 seconds now within 3/10. We've got Mark Rocker tuning in as well, cheering on the broadcast. Always good to see our favorite Coloridian tuning in and supporting the show, as he is right in time to see maybe bringing home the grand prize here at the FEG PC Truck Series. We've got 15 laps left to go in less than 3/10 of a second. Separating your race leader from Cody Mccauley and Matt Lee, running 1 and 2. Jeremy Coors in fourth, also in playoff contention. What's going to happen? Lee getting within striking distance, 2/10 of a second, separating your race leaders. 13 laps left to go. Is Lee going to make a jab at Mccauley, or is he going to wait for just a few more laps? Now, generally, you don't want to be the lead truck on the last lap, as you are in prime time punting positions. But here comes Matt Lee. Look on the inside line of Cody Mccauley. We're going to have a new race leader here at Phoenix, as it'll be 12 laps left to go as they cross the line. What's going to happen? Both drivers navigating traffic. No, that's Tristan Bailey who's thrown himself in the mix for 24 machine. How is this going to play off in the final laps? We're going to have a 3-truck battle for the lead here. Now, Cody Mccauley does not want to get caught up with Tristan Bailey in that number 24 machine. We almost had contact. I'm not quite. Was that Chad Ross? No. Was that Millette maybe? I'm not sure who just had the doors blown off of him as the race leaders come flying around. Kaufman and Barber come down pit road with a final stop, 11 laps left to go. We've got several drivers looking for a top 10. Tyler Millette in 11th place, trying to squeeze up there. You've got Roger Hale running 15th, trying to get a lap back as he's behind Chad Ross. And we can get that lucky dog. Matt Lee extending that gap ever so slightly to about 0.4 of a second over Cody Mccauley. Mccauley's got his hands full with Tristan Bailey. If Mccauley gets slowed down at all here by Bailey, he's going to say goodbye to a championship contention as Lee trying his best to extend his gap with 9 laps left to go. Lee, who has pretty much been the GOAT here at the FEG PC Truck Series, is putting on another dominant performance. Mccauley was trading back and forth wins with Lee early on in the segment, and things really came down to it here today. 9 laps left to go. Bailey right on the rear bumper. Mccauley looks to the inside line. Oh, hold on to it, guys. Nobody wants to crash this late. And now Bailey will move up to second place, now up 16 positions. And that is bad news for Mccauley, as now he has another driver between himself and a big payout contention. Now, not all is lost. Mccauley's still in the money for segment 3, but he's looking for the top prize. John Olette coming up through the field as well, trying to get the back bumper of Jeremy Kors, who is fourth on track. Kors in playoff contention, but he's about 6.5 seconds behind their leaders here. And if Olette can catch up that number 97 machine, he will do his best to put the pressure on. Across the board here today. Who is going to bring home the championship as Lee still by about a half second ahead. Parks comes down pit road as he runs in 9th on the track. Will that affect the top 10? Yes, it will. Tyler Millett inside the top 10. Where is Roger Hale? Still running 16th out on track here after his late pit stop. And being involved in a couple of incidents. 5 laps left to go here, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler Millett trying to catch back up to Jose Medina. He's 4/10 off. That number 21 machine running on 9. And the camera back up front, it's Matt Lee still leading the charge. He's about 6/10 ahead of Tristan Bailey and 1.3 seconds of Mccauley. Mccauley looking to get a second place finish in the segment to bring home a paycheck. And where else can you get paid to sim race? Besides here on a Monday night at the FEG PC Truck Series, again, several $100s up for grabs tonight. And then next week, we'll be giving away a very nice direct drive wheel setup to our overall champion. 43% of the voters said Matt Lee was going to take it with 4 laps left to go, barring any incidents. You are looking correct here. Now, we do have green-white checker attempts at play, 3 green-white checker attempts. If we do have a late race caution before the white flag is thrown, Stephen Page comes down pit road. That'll allow Tyler Millett to move up to 9th. Jay Darter moves up to 10th. White flag flies for Matt Lee. Not quite sure why Live Timing didn't update that. We have broken the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we actually broke the broadcast. Excellent. So the white flag is out for Matt Lee, looking to bring home another win here today, and most importantly, picking up the championship. And that will be the official results as Matt Lee brings it home, ladies and gentlemen, winning both the race here at Phoenix as well as segment 3. Tristan Bailey gets 2nd, Cody Mccauley gets 3rd. A fantastic race for all of our drivers. We're going to get our drivers up to victory lane, but up first, we're going to grab Jose Medina, a much requested interview out of the number 24 machine. Jose, you got a copy?
I'm here, buddy. What's going on?
Jose, a great race out there. Did you think that went cleaner or a little bit rougher than you were expecting the season finale?
It was clean to me. I loved it. It was real clean to me. The truck felt really good, and Malek just got me in the end for number 8, and I got number 9.
Well, always a great time talking to you, Jose. Another fantastic job as always. You're much requested from the fans at home here at Phoenix to get a word in, so always appreciate your time. Who do you want to give a super quick shout out to, my friend?
A super shout out to my family, my wife, for supporting my habit, and Jeff for running this fantastic league, and yourself for running this broadcasting excellent job every week. So I really appreciate everything, and arriba, arriba!
Awesome. That's Jose Medina bringing home another great night here tonight. Always a absolute character to talk to. We're getting our top 3 drivers up into the booth. give a quick talk. Now let's take a quick look. We heard word that maybe Tyler Millette pulled off a last-second pass for ninth. I believe he did. Let's see, it looks like Page maybe had a bit of a bobble. This will be the battle for 8th unfold. And yes, Millette, I believe, picked up 8th right there at the very end. We're going to try and get our top 3 drivers up into the waiting room. We've got Matt Lee. We're waiting on Tristan Bailey. Get our top 3 drivers up into the booth. There we go. We got them, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them. So up first, we're going to have Cody Mccauley joining us here today, finishing 3rd here tonight and 2nd in the Segment 3 Championship. Cody, great race out there. Do you think those maybe late race cautions threw a wrench in the plans, or was it all in all a pretty good night for you in the 62 machine?
Nah, man, we had a rough night. Butchered it in qualifying, spinning at the line, then having to come back through the field. Thought we really had something there that last run, and looked like we were going to be pretty good on fuel, but some miscalculations led us to having to save about the last 15 laps, and by the time we did, there really wasn't much we could do with Matt. So congratulations to him, man. He had an awesome season. Won a bunch of races, was pretty much the fastest car at all of us. So big congrats to him. Really, really proud of this, but. Like I said, you come up short sometimes. We just got to come back next season and fight harder.
Well, Cody, looking forward to having you back next season. Now, earlier on this season, maybe it was segment 2. It's tough to remember how many races we've had here, but I want to say last time we were at Phoenix, it became a fuel mileage race there as well. Did you kind of expect that coming into tonight?
Not really. I was hoping that the cautions would keep kind of playing into our favor, and we would get something right there in that last little long string of runs, but it didn't work out as the car went longer and longer, got tighter, so folks weren't as keen to losing it out of 4. So that really kind of hurt us. Like I said, I really think if we would have gotten us a caution there late and strapped that last set of tires we had on the pits, I think we'd have been the car to beat. Seemed like we had pretty good pace all race. Just like I said, I had to put ourselves in a position and dug ourselves a pretty big hole. It hurt us with trying to do all of our calculations on fuel. So.
Well, Cody, always a great time talking. It's been an absolute blast watching all of you guys week in and week out battle for lead. It's always anybody's guess who's going to bring home the top spot. So, all in all, a great season, a great run here tonight, and still in the money at the end of the day. Before I let you sign off and celebrate, who would I give a shout out to that's cheering you on from across the world?
Man, big shout out to Jeff Scott for putting this all on. Man, he did a great job with the league. I'm really excited with what he's got going on over here. So, super pumped to come back and do some more stuff with him. Shout out to you, brother, for doing the broadcast every week. You guys do a great job. It's always fun to go back and watch. Delta 9 PA, check them out on Instagram, Facebook, guys. They're an awesome company. This is probably going to be their last race with us right here. So super stoked. Want to say thank you to them for coming on for this full season and supporting us. Everybody over at 62 Designs, 62 Designs Racing. Check us out on Facebook. Hit us up if you need paint schemes, man. Some of the sharpest looking trucks out here. So just a big shout out. Again, Matt Lee, hats off to him, man. He had a great year.
Well, Cody, great job as always. Thank you for your time, man, and looking forward to seeing you again next season.
Thank you, bud.
Up next, we've got Tristan Bailey join us in the number 24 machine. Tristan, great run, kind of charging through the field. I believe you're our hard charger tonight, up 16 positions from where you started from. Did you do that just to look cool for the fans, or what happened?
Nah, I lost it coming to the second lap on the qualifying.
Now, I know Phoenix is a little bit slippery. Do you think the track config change may be changing thing for you guys, or does it feel pretty much the same as it has been out on course?
Actually, I've been driving this layout a lot, like this reconfiguration, I guess you call it, and rescan way better than the other one. So I guess it benefits me more than anything.
Well, it seemed like it worked out well for you. You had both short run and long run speed, able to get by Mccauley in the closing about 10 laps or so. Did those few string of cautions kind of change your strategy at all late in the race?
Well, I made sure I didn't have to pit again.
Well, very well said. Well, Tristan, before I let you sign off and celebrate, who would you like to give a shout out to or thanks? Fans, family, sponsors, the floor is yours, my friend.
More than the Kate Foundation and TJ's team, and then Brad Herman for running tonight with me.
Well, Tristan, great job talking to you as always, my friend. A great run here tonight, and hope to see you come back in the future and put it up here on the podium.
You too, man.
That was Tristan Bailey finishing second in the number 24, but here comes Matt Lee in the 04 machine. The fans voted that you were most likely to win it here today, and you did not let down 40% of our viewers. So all in all, a great night, picking up the win in Phoenix, picking up the overall win of segment 3. I mean, can you ask for anything else, Matt?
No, we had a definitely a good grip on the track tonight, and long run pace was definitely there, and did a lot of testing with the fuel mileage and stuff, so that really played key to pulling this one off.
Well, it seemed like it worked well. I think, again, I asked McCauley about this earlier in the season. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Phoenix has kind of historically been a fuel mileage race every time we come out here on a Monday night. Does that seem right to you?
It seems that way. It was going to come down that way the last time we were here as well, and cautions at the end of it kind of dictated that it wasn't, but this time it worked out for us. So.
Well, Lee, I know you're always been one of the fastest trucks, cars, doesn't matter what you're racing, you're always out here doing well. What do you think your continued success has been? What's the secret sauce that keeps putting you in the 04 machine up here in Victory Lane?
A lot of laps. We did probably 400 or 500 laps getting ready for this race tonight over the weekend, and just being prepared is the biggest thing for me, is getting the laps in.
Well, it seems like it worked out very well for you, my friend. Qualifying in the top spot, finishing in the top spot, and wrapping up segment 3 with a bang. I know you're going to be putting in tons of laps for next week to decide the overall championship. Maybe pick up a new wheel with a victory, but today you're earning the big paycheck here at the FEG PC Truck Series. Matt, for the final time of segment 3, who are you going to give a shout out to, my friend?
Huge shout out to Jeremy and all the help he's been in this series, bouncing stuff off each other. It's been a lot of fun racing with him. All the guys at Martin Sports, you guys are putting these races on. Jeff for putting the race on. Anyone looking for some racing gloves, jerseys, anything like that, check them out over at martinsports906.com. Shenandoah Shine, McConey Setup Shop. All the usual guys that help me week to week.
Oh, awesome, Matt. It's been a pleasure talking to you all season long. It's been an absolute joy watching you race, and you guys have been putting on a show week in and week out, and we greatly appreciate it, as well as the fans at home. Again, you were the most voted driver to bring home the championship, so you got to feel good. We wish you the best of luck next week at the overall championship, and enjoy the celebrations, my friend.
I appreciate it, James.
Thank you, my friend. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it for the segment 3 finale of the FEG PC Truck Series, where it was Matt Lee finishing on the top spot. Cody Mccauley gets second overall in the points. Jeremy Kors brings third in the championship, and we will be giving that additional prize to one random driver in the field as well. So even if you didn't finish inside the top 4, still an opportunity to bring home a paycheck for the final time of segment 3. Thank you all so much for tuning in, supporting your favorite truck series, possibly your favorite broadcaster, and a whole lot of great drivers. We will see you next week for the overall season finale. Have a great night, everyone.